What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the call. Welcome to the call. Today is a day like none we've seen before and none that will come again. Today is January 25th. As y'all can see, I got a little junior trader in training, you know what I'm saying, popping in here with her hair looking crazy because her daddy tried to do her hair and he don't really know what's going on, you know what I'm saying? But what a blessing it is to be able to play in my daughter's hair. Like I'm still here and we still rocking with it, but we're gonna do something with that. But you guys, today is Sunday, January 25th, and this is our weekly Outlook call. We have been hosting this weekly outlet call for about the past 4 years now at this point in time. Try to stay as consistent as I can. Um, I'm excited to be with you guys today. We have a crazy week. Market's already looking like it's setting up for something. So we're going to try to go ahead and pin down what's happening. The first thing that I want to bring to your attention is just simply what's happening with gold. This is absolutely parabolic. I don't believe that this is a sustainable rally. But if you think about what's going on the global stage, like I told you guys, I always like to start off my weeks just with a quick review of the news, right? The first thing that you see when you check the news is Trump says that China is successfully and completely taking over the once great country of Canada. That is highly insane. You know what I'm saying? That would be the craziest thing ever for our neighbor to be in bed with our enemy. You know what I'm saying? Um, Trump has not been treating everybody well. So, maybe you are pushing, your allies into the arms of the enemy. But with that being said, you guys, what does that mean for us? How do we go ahead and pin this down and how do we figure out what's taking place? So we do see what's happening with gold. We also see what's happening with the Japanese yen. We've been paying attention to watching this yen for the entire year to this point so far. Exactly what's happening now, we have been predicting this and we have been waiting on this. And in reality, it hasn't happened as well, as smoothly or as quickly as we would have anticipated. But we do see it happening now. So the moment that we see it, we alert our eyes to what's taking place right now. And as we can see from Friday we had a 170 point move on the JPY basket to the buy side. It sent all of the yen pairs to the downside. I don't think that that selling is done. I actually believe that it is just simply the beginning of the move, and I did anticipate that this was going to happen. We actually went ahead and we called out this JPY sell on the Friday. It was a phenomenal setup and it was very easy. So I kind of want to go ahead and just walk you guys through what I saw, from the jump, right? The first things that we can see here on the yen, and it is a couple of things. So right now, I'm running a couple of small groups, right? And one of some of the things that we've been talking about so far is just understanding some of the structure on some of these higher time frames, right? Also looking at some of the psychological levels, like the quarter levels, right? So for the quarter levels that we'd see here are going to be the 215, right? 215, which is right here. And as we spoke about it, we don't always get a perfect test of the quarters, but sometimes price will come and trade close to them. I typically will look within a 20 pip range. So that could be the 214.8, you know what I'm saying? Or it could be like I'll show you some of the other ones. But essentially, what we saw was there was an initial sell off that had already taken place on the yen. This initial sell-off that took place, it was one that came and swept the lows. We swept liquidity, right? We took the lows. Any buyers that were in the market were immediately wiped. What happened after that point in time was happening, my guy, is that we saw the market completely just melt down, right? We saw the market completely just sell off. When we sold off, we created a lower low. This is a change in the delivery of the market, the way that the market is delivering. We've seen that shift, we've seen that change. And at this point in time, it doesn't seem as though price is going to stop. It seems as though the we took the highs, as you can see here. These are actually the highs of the year. This is the high of 2026. We made a move to take those highs, and then price has actually sold back dramatically. In reality, this is the level to where I'm looking for a retracement move, right? We want to have some kind of a relief rally at exactly the level that we're trading at right now. And what I'll identify for you guys on the JPY chart, or this is the GBP JPY chart, is this little pattern right here. You can see where we have this buy side move, right? We have a bullish engulfing candle, followed by a sell side candle, followed by another bullish candle. What this shows you is a tug of war, right? And on another time frame, let's see if it's on the 4 hour time frame. Nope, it doesn't even exist. Let's see if it's on the 2 hour time frame. That is going to show up as a doji, something similar to this candle right here. What this shows, and you can see that we're looking to figure out what time frame is this aligning on? What time frame are we seeing this on? I could tell you from the 1 hour, just in the, if you think about the psychology of a candle itself, buy, sell, buy. It's a tug of war. There are buyers and there are sellers that are both interested at this level, right? These blocks in the market, whenever you see them, there'll be levels to where the market will be attracted to and the market will react from. So that will be a lesson that on you guys that are in my small group right now, you're going to hear some of the things that we'll be going over the next couple of weeks. But at the exact same point, when you see candlesticks like this, you can tell that the market is pulling against itself. You know what I'm saying? What I typically would like to do is I like to measure these boxes, right? I'll go from the body, and I'm only going to use the body to the top of it. And then I'm going to look for, price to test around that 50% of this level right here. We can take this whole zone. You see, I highlighted the top, I highlighted the bottom, and I'm going to pull the whole thing off to the side, right? And this is going to be the area that I'm going to be looking for a reaction from, right? Our stop loss is always going to go below the low when we see things like that. People be like, yo, you sniped the market, such and so. I'd be like, bro, I could have that was a signal call. In reality, what I look to do is I could take the lows here, but I could also go to put my stop loss right below the candlestick that started that bullish move. You see where that line just went? Where we have, if you think about it too, this is where we had a gap down here and then a bullish engulfing candle that came from that. I can put my stop loss right below that guy because if we continue to sell beyond that, then the market is going to continue to fall from that point in time. But if we start to see a reaction here on the GBP JPY, this is going to be on the smaller time frames now, right? We might look at the 30-minute, we might look at the 15-minute, we might look at I like the 15-minute, so we'll come back to that. We might look at the 5-minute, we might look at the 3-minute, and just kind of see how the market is responding in this area. Are we still making a move to push lower, right? Are we still making a move to push lower? Did I actually delete that 50% test? It'll be somewhere just like right here is what we would look to see the market respond from. I would want there to be a full candle closure. And I also want to make sure that in testing this level here, that we maintain above the lows that were previously made. I start to see things like that on the smaller time frame, right? If we do get a pull from that level, and there is a possibility, because this is actually even sneakier play, because this is what we could see happen in reality because this low here, we might actually see price go and make a move to take out this level, but to test back down in here to where we see a sell through here. And then we actually see price come and trade back into structure after that point in time and then retest above that block, right? I'll go back to the 2 hour time, the 1 hour time frame so we can see this block again. There is a potential that price will trade to take out the low, right? Trade below the low and then trade back above this block. And then we get our buy side move from there. So if we wanted to take a riskier entry, can go ahead and we can look to, 2-1, 210.8. It's pretty risky. You know what I'm saying? That's a riskier entry. But what we would look to do is when if we look to the left as well, you can see that we have price sells and then we get one, two, three, and we trade back into structure. This is an imbalance that was existing here, right? This is an imbalanced area right here where the market actually traded back into and then traded above. We might get one more push below this area here. So in reality, I could look to take buys on GBP JPY anywhere in this general area, right here, with the riskier entries being, letting the market sell all the way down to the bottom, to this candle or that candle to really like this level right here. And then we start to see price pull away from it at that point, right? The safer trade is going to be not this one, but the safer trade is going to be this one. If you guys have been in the groups to where I've been calling signals, this is where I would give myself a notice. I'm going to go ahead and use my alert, right? And I'm going to go ahead and call it at 2190 with the idea in my mind. I'm really thinking about 2180. So price crossing, where's my levels though? Add condition, where are you crossing? Crossing where? Where are we crossing? Add condition, what's going on here? Am I tripping? Price crossing, trend line, no. Price crossing value, there we go. 210.90. And I'm going to simply just leave a message for myself there. Buy side, 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 opportunity. This is not going to enter me into the trade. It's just going to alert me to enter into the trade or to put my eyes on the market. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be one to where this could be the initial play. If my guy Ozzy sees it, then I'm saying, I'm in on that. You know what I'm saying? Like if my guy sees it, then it is that, right? But this is a trade that I would call and I might take for myself, right? What I would look to take, or if I was calling a signal, I would want to call the safer trade. The safer trade will be when the market actually trades back into our previous structure, right? And we now test right here. And we look to buy at that point in time. What that means is that if you were taking the riskier trade, this is where we compound our position. You may go ahead and on your riskier trade, let's say, for example, that you enter with a half of a position size. Let's say that you were going to trade with a 50-cent lot, right? But on the risky entry, you just entered at a 25-cent lot, right? And just so that you guys can understand, let's do some math really quickly, right? So my calculator here, this is actually one to where, Uh, I think I'm going, you see, and we're sweeping this low right here. This creates the low. I'm thinking let's go ahead and prepare to call this trade. Let me look at everything else just as well first. We've been going over some of the correlated pairs, using the dollar index. I like this a lot. I'm gonna give it a range. Let me see what our range is. Let me look at Euro NZD as well, because this is one of my biggest focuses for the week, but we'll get to that. The JPYs are just like, it's just too compelling right now. You know what I'm saying? Too compelling right now, right? I'm gonna go ahead 211 to 210.80. Let's go ahead and we are going to call our first trade of the, I mean, I've already called a couple. But we'll go ahead and I'm gonna just set up just gonna set something up for myself right now, just because I do believe. Let me clean up all these lines and whatnot. People not gonna understand because they're not here. So we're gonna do something like this. I really like at this level right here, 211 to 2. So trade, no, not trade. Publish idea. Uh, GBP, JPY, buy side opportunity. Um, at 211.00 to 210.80. GBP JPY has come under a large amount of sell side pressure. Let me go ahead and duplicate so I can look back at my charts. I think that this is going to trigger right now. 20 pip stop loss. I'll risk it. I'll risk it. 30 pips. Let me do it like that. Hopefully it sees my update. Is it going to see my update? I might have to redo that. Sell side pressure. I am expecting a relief rally before continued sells. We should see, and I gave the range, right? Um, yep. I would expect I would expect a pretty, I would expect for prices to respect this structure right here, and to take buys probably back into here before we actually see this level break. We're going to reject from here at least once in my perspective, but then we're going to come down here to fill these imbalances here. And I think a lot of people are going to anticipate that those imbalances are going to be filled right away, and I don't believe that that's the case. Um, so let's go ahead and I'm going to finish that call. I'm going to refresh it though. What time frame should I call this on? Um, and let's go ahead and we'll also throw on some fibs here because that's how we'll find our, look at that. I don't even need the fibs because it's already there. 273 pips, 30 pip risk. Let's bring the risk to 40 just to make it, you know, something even. And then we'll remove the fibs and we'll do something like that. And then we'll call this on what, the 2 hour time frame maybe? Gap right here, imbalance right here. Let's publish that, publish your idea. We're going to just copy and paste this. The reason why I'm doing it over again is that I just simply don't know if when I made the adjustments, if it adjusted it on this screen. 110, such and such, post, right? Long, um, trend analysis, chart patterns. I swear, such. Cool. It's cool with me. If this hits stop loss, it's a worthy stop loss hit, simply said, right? We have our JPY basket that has just taken the internal highs, right? What we could expect is that we could expect that price may test these external highs, trade back into structure, at least back to here, and then continue, right? And at this point in time, if we get a move like that to where we test the internal structure, pull back before we go to the external structure, this is going to be the long-term play. This will be probably the next quarter that we'll be looking to take this trade. As I said, is it possible that price actually goes and tests this imbalance before selling? Absolutely. I'm willing to take that loss to, in anticipation of this move. Let's see. That actually falls in line with the 61.8. So that's possible that we continue to try to take those highs, right, just as well. But I would be looking to see us come and test structure in this area here. This may be a week to where, guess what? Oh, there we go. There we go. This may be a week to where I take more than one shot, right? Maybe I take it and look at that. That same block right there. Y'all see how that worked? 1, 2, 1, and then it shot, right? Test the external structure, sweeps the highs. Now we can see if price rejects from the highs, comes back and tests at least the 50%, probably closer to the 78.6. And if that becomes the case, then we end up looking for long-term buys on the JPY basket. This would be the trade for the next 90 days. For real, not for play. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could see I've taken this trade, taken this trade, taken this trade. I've been anticipating this move that's happening now, this kind of bullish reaction. But look what we're seeing now. This is a bullish engulfing candle that actually shows us that there is a large amount of buy side interest in the market right now. You know what I mean? There are buyers interested in the market right now. A pull back to here will give us our best risk to reward. We don't want to buy from here, you know what I'm saying? Because we could just go up and be in profit a little bit and then crash. We don't want that, right? This will be the point to which we can take our stop loss definitely below the wick, but sometimes even below the body, maybe like right here, right? And we're going to be looking to potentially hold this trade for the next maybe 3 to 4 months, realistically. This is what we're looking for. Ozzy, you see what I'm seeing? This is what we're looking for. These imbalances here, these internal equal highs. This is what we're looking for. Olivia, is she still on the call? She already know the vibes. Yes, she is. She was rocking with me when I first called it, and the levels haven't changed. I told her, I was like, if we call the trade and it don't work out, then we're just going to be re-entering the trade. We're just going to be looking for another opportunity because this is where you can hold your trades for the long term. It's also the point to which you don't have to over leverage your positions either. You see the JPY basket. Let me go to the 15 minute because we just fell 10 points already, right? We're already starting to see that. GBP JPY, we're already up 15 pips, maybe more, right? But we're starting to see that already, right? We have gaps in here. We want price to come and mitigate these imbalances. And a gap is simply an imbalance on a faster level. A gap is an imbalance that happened over the weekend or when the market wasn't trading. You know what I'm saying? So what we're going to expect right now is we're going to expect the sell side on the JPY basket, not forever, but for the short term. For some people, to for their own personal psychology, sometimes when this is what you expect, you don't take the opposite move. You don't even have to go ahead and buy GBP JPY. You don't have to sell JPY basket. You can go ahead and simply set your alerts and say, when price gets to this level, let's do it again. When price gets to 5315310, right? Which is a big sell off. That would send GBP JPY hundreds of pips to the upside. Um, Long term buy on JPY. That's how I see it. You know what I'm saying? We can get a push higher, but at the exact same point, you can just simply wait for price to pull back to this level and add to your positions. You know what I'm saying? And just add to your positions because we will just be simply holding this trade for as long as we can hold it for. This is where you start to test your will when the prices start moving in your direction and you're like, yo, I'm up a bag and it's like I could take profit, but in reality, you believe that the market's still gonna keep on moving. And it's like, oh, I really need to just add to my position because this is long-term thinking. Um, but with that being said, you guys, sorry. Let's go ahead and start the call. We're 30 minutes into the call talking about start the call. You guys know I always like to start off my week with a review of the news. It's just that there are immediate things that are happening right now. And it's in part due to everything that's going on there. But to look at the week ahead, what I always do is I look at Forex Factory for the news, and I'm going to go ahead and filter out the yellow folders. So I have just the red and the orange folders, durable good orders. Um, I also want to show you guys something. Oh, CPI news on the Aussie. You know what I'm saying? I know my guy Oscar's gonna be in tune on this week, and he's gonna have eyes on the Australian dollar, and he's gonna have some different, perspectives about where his CPI news can move that dollar to. Essentially, what we'll probably be looking at is we're going to be looking at the structures that the Australian dollar is already trading to. Because what I believe is that the news itself is not going to predict the market, but it's going to accelerate where the market is supposed to go to already. Whether there are imbalances, whether there are, structural levels that the market needs to test, supply and demand zones that are close, you know what I'm saying? The news tends to move the market to these levels faster, right? Levels that the market would be going to. We have CAD news on Wednesday, as well as FOMC news. This is the FOMC week. So we can expect some very big movements from the dollar as well as the CAD. My focus, so we'll look at USD CAD because this will be on the same day, right? We have USD unemployment claims, and then we have PPI news just as well. So it is a very news heavy week, you guys. And if we can pin down what the news is doing or what the markets are doing, then we can position ourselves ahead of time. What I've been working with my community with, as you see, I've constructed a list here, right? This is a list of the dollar pairs that I can put my focus on. What you'll see immediately is that the dollar index is red, and then the pairs that trade with the dollar index in the same direction are also red. USD CHF, red. USD CAD, red. Everything against the dollar, the Australian dollar, the New Zealand dollar, the Great British dollar, the euro, they're all green because the dollar has been selling, right? But if the dollar has been selling, where is it selling to? Is it selling forever or is it selling to test some structured level, right? When we think about that, what we can see, hmm, what we can see is we see, let's go to the daily time frame, weekly time frame, right? Let's see where we are trading at right now, right? We can see that the market has traded, and the thing is that the news that came out on Friday that started this move, it wasn't even something that I really expected was going to have a large effect on the market like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't even believe that that was attributed to the news itself. What came out was this USD flash PMI, and we didn't miss by a lot. When the manufacturing PMI came out, we were in alignment, we were in tune. But when flash services PMI came out, we missed by a little bit, and that started the dollar on the downtrend. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, where we're currently trading at now on the US dollar is we are trading at the lows without having broken the lows. You know what I'm saying? We did not break below the lows. We did not create a lower low. We actually are trading above. So if the market were to pivot here, look what we see here just again. You see this little up, down, up, same thing again. We'll go ahead and we'll just highlight this, right? Again. What am I doing, bruh? All right. We'll go ahead and we'll just highlight this level here and we'll pull that out. And we see this is where the market has traded down to test, right? This is where the market has come into to test. Well, obviously, we'll look out and we'll zoom out just a little bit to see if there are any other lower structured levels that the market can trade to. But in reality, this is an important level to see how the market responds to where we're trading at now. We were able to sweep the lows from right here. We're testing right about here where we took previous buys off of. And really, as long as the dollar stays above, and if you think about it, where are we trading right around? We're trading just a few points below our quarter level. The quarter level that we're trading close to is going to be the 997.5, which is exactly where the market closed on Friday, right in here, right? Now we're below that level. We've swept these lows. Ooh, look what I just seen. Look at this. All right, cool. So we have an imbalance right here, right? There's a fair value gap right here. The fair value gap will use the candle before and we'll use the candle that comes after. So I'm going to highlight this level for you guys right here, right? And what you can see is this is the area where we get the bullish engulfing candle that helped us go higher, that started the move. This is when we broke this downtrend. This is a downtrend that was intact. When this downtrend broke, the market went higher. We actually created a high that was higher, then we created equal highs. With the equal highs, my expectation is that we sweep these levels, we sweep these highs after a pullback that may take internal lows, right, without violating the external levels. If the market were to trade below here, then I would now become a seller in this market. But as long as we maintain above this structured level, I'm expecting for the market to find some level of support, supply, demand, and to buy from that level, right? I don't believe there's any levels below that where the market needs to come back and trade. We're literally trading within this same block, like what we just identified, right? So we're gonna pay attention to that. This is exactly where we're trading. And just from the look of it, I might look at this block and I might measure it, using like my fibs or, whatever tool you use to measure it. Did I lose it? What am I looking for? The block right here. So here to here, um, right here. Oh, I did that upside down. So let's do it like this. Let's do it from this low to this high, and we'll put the line at that 50% of the block that we're currently trading at, right? As I scroll to the left, this is the area that I would expect for markets to come and test, right? We can trade maybe just a little bit lower, but I am going to anticipate that within this range here, we are going to have this gap, this opening gap will be filled, right? And we should, anticipate that this imbalance gets mitigated just as well. This could be a bigger play that takes us above these highs here, above these equal highs. And this becomes a stupid trade. This is 1 and 21. How many times will you take a trade like that and lose? I would take a trade 4 or 5 times. Let's say that I was taking 5 trades. Let's say I was going to take five shots. I would shoot 5 times and lose 4 out of 5 times just to pin down the one time where the market actually truly does test and fly, because this is a 1 to 21. That means the one time that I do get it right with a 20% hit rate, we're gone. The market's gone. But let's go ahead and see this, because this is how I actually go through. I look at the market and I see these imbalances, I see these gaps, and I see the structure that we're currently trading at. But I want to go ahead and see, are these other US dollar currency pairs, are they responding similarly? Y'all see how I've shot for USD CHF? We've been in profits, come and hit, we put stop losses to break even. It buys again, comes and shoots, buys again, comes and shoots. All the while we're creating equal lows. We sweep all of the lows. Let's see if we have a similar structure that this market has come back into test, right? We do. I'll just tell you that now, right? We've traded back into structure, back into this wick right here. And then you can kind of see where the market has already started to make that rejection from here, right? Wait, where are we trading at? Are we trading at our quarter level, the 0.775? Is that where we just came and tested? If I were to just go ahead and say 0.7750, I'm not even about to post this video no more. This is only going in our community group. Is this testing my structure? Hmm. Hmm. After we test this structure, do we create a bullish engulfing candle? Right? Okay, cool. Now we go and we see price trade right back around here. I'm looking to enter my trades, probably something like this. No risk. No risk. 25 pips. All right. My average take pro or stop losses now, you'll see they're always going to be between like 30 to 35 pips, something like that. But I'm looking to see just a small little test here. Don't even stay there long. And I want to see the market pull away because we're testing that quarter level. We did sell through it just a little bit by about 10 pips, but now we're sitting back on top of it. So I'm kind of curious to see if the market actually does test here and then buy from that level. USD CAD. We got some major CAD news coming up, right? Major CAD news coming up. We have lows right here, but then we have just a little bit of structure right about here, right about here. I would have stop losses right below these lows, 42 pips. Let's call it 50. Let's call it 50. You know what I'm saying? Let's call it 50. We swept these lows, low, low, low. We've swept this low. We've come in. We've already mitigated this imbalance. I think fair enough, well enough. We saw this initial spike. What are the chances that we call this the actual low? That this is the low, right? What are the chances that this is the low and these are the highs? And there's a term that you guys will understand. There is something called equal measured moves, right? What if we go and we duplicate this move right here and it takes us into this higher structure? What we're looking for is we want to see USD CAD trade back above this structure. If we break above here, sweep these highs, right, and now come back and test. Oh, not that. That's not what I wanted. Come back and test right here. Boy, 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 boy. We are. Oh, GBP USD is getting bullish. I don't quite like that. That's not really what I want, but it's okay because we're just getting prepared for the week, right? We're seeing the dollar. Is the dollar selling right now? It is selling. It is selling. So we're going to watch and see how the market responds to this level. You know what I'm saying? How the market reacts to where we're trading at right now. I believe that this isn't going to hold up. I believe that we're going to see the market maybe try to find some level of support somewhere in here, right? And as I look at this, you see this candle here, this creates the low. I just really want for price to stay above this high. I want you to create like a higher low. Even if you come as close to this point as you possibly can, I just want you to create a higher low and trade away from it. If we just continue to sweep, take this wick, target this wick, then that would be a failed setup and the market will continue to fall from there, right? Euro NZD is the one that I said I'm the most excited about. Euro NZD will always keep me honest. Let me see. Let me go through the rest of the list first. So DXY, we see where we're testing at. People will be surprised if this becomes a wick if we test down here, but we don't close down here. If we test at 97, but the market closes in the next 45 minutes higher here, you know what I'm saying? Above here, right? With that being said, that would help. You see it's selling, but it's not aggressively selling here. It's kind of teetering just a little bit. We can just kind of get our grasp. We don't have to take trades right now just as well. We can wait for New York session open when the dollar is supposed to be moving the most. But there are a lot of things that I'm taking track of right now. You know what I'm saying? USD CAD, we've got big news on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? If we do have this, and here's the next thing. This could be the move on USD CAD. We could see something happen like this, and then price, this is the pullback or the retracement, and then we have an equal measured move of this move. That could also be the case. And the dollar could actually go ahead and sell down into this level here. Maybe we sell all the way back down into here. Guess what? Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to enter my trade again. You know what I'm saying? I do take notice of these equal highs and the sweep of these equal highs while maintaining this external structure. One, two, three, and price trades away. I do see that we came back and we mitigated this imbalance, but maybe the market looks at this as these are equal lows as well, and not even equal lows. Maybe this low is lower than this low. So maybe we go and we pull a real sneaky move, and price actually ends up doing something like this. Guess what happens then? That could be the banger. That would be the banger, bro. You know what I'm saying? And we still trade that back to the highs. It doesn't change anything. I'm willing to lose. If you're not willing to take a loss, trading is not for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to lose to see if I'm correct. I'm willing to lose in order to win. There's a potential that markets trade from here. It doesn't mean that I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? It just means that because you know what would actually happen, similar to what we just said, to where price goes and does something like this, and this is the trade, and then this is the compound. These levels still end up becoming validated, but we will go ahead and say that this is possible. And guess what? That happens to be right at the 3-3, right at that level as well, 3-3-0, right? So I'm going to set an alert here also. 3-3-4-0 potential buys. 3-3-4-0 long-term buys, potential buys. Everything is potential, right? But it's gonna alert me. It's gonna be like, okay, pay attention, pay attention. It's doing what you said. It doesn't mean that this can't pull from right here, right? It can pull from right here. I promise you it can. And this will be a banger trade. But I also like to, I don't play devil's advocate because that's not my phrasing or anything like that. However, I like to look at opposite perspectives because if I'm buying this, there's somebody else who is also selling it. And I want to think if they're selling it, why might they be selling it? What could they see? If I were to look at this from the opposite perspective, this is what I would be looking for. This is what I would see. This is what I would take the trade. If this fails, then this is the next setup. And we simply wait for that setup to take place. USD CAD, we could see that happen. Australian dollar, we have news on Tuesday. This is actually starting to look like this could be a continuation. We have a gap up here, price, we got that sell, we get a buy. Do we see a continuation on all of these pairs, right? Or are we testing our final pieces, our final points of structure? Look at this. Look at this on NZD, right? Look at this. Look where we're testing. Very possible that we're just testing these final levels before price actually sees some major rejections right in here. You know what I'm saying? We might see people that go ahead and they continue to take, and this could also just be like we could just continue to buy from here. We're getting a bullish engulfing candle on the 1 hour time frame, so we don't want to like fall in. I'm not in love with any position in the market. But I am seeing that this is an external high that has been tested multiple times before. When it came here before, it rejected. When it came here before, it rejected. Is it possible that we go and we test this higher structure? Absolutely. That says zero point 0.6. That's the next quarter level. Is it possible that we go and test that? Absolutely. 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 But does it respect this as the test of the quarter level? And now we come and we see us retrace to mitigate all of these imbalances that are being created. You know what I'm saying? This market, there's retests that are needed here. There's retests that are needed here. These are all levels to where the market can retest, and then we have this imbalance here where the break initially happened. You guys see, like I always leave like my charts kind of marked up, and I can start cleaning them now. I don't have to, keep it there on everything. I'll delete this one. You know what I'm saying? But I leave it there because it alerts my attention to an area that I was previously focused on. We called this trade. This trade was called in PTT. We actually took two entries on this, if you guys remember. This was two entries on PTT, and we caught that buy side play, right? We created the imbalance that took this high, that took us higher, and guess what? A retest is healthy. A retest is healthy. And a retest is also 300 pips. That's a 1 to 10. Maybe that's possible. It would be a beautiful setup. Beautiful setup. Does it potentially continue to fall from there? Absolutely. But that would be a beautiful setup. We'll just leave that there for now. GBP USD. We called this sell side. This was actually This was also called on PTT. This sell here was the trade when they first reduced interest rates in September. This is the day that they reduced interest rates. I called this on live. It's on my Instagram right now just as well. The whole play on live. I believe that the direction that was given to us were when interest rates came out, I still kind of feel as though this direction can hold up. If we break above and we actually go to test the next quarter at 3750, then maybe price continues to go from there. But I do believe, and I've been smacking GBP USD. I took a loss. I think I took a loss this past week. Um, but we've been smacking GBP USD. I'm in this trade right now to the short side. I'm in this trade right now to the short side. This is one of my main plays, and I'm expecting this to fail. If the dollar at any point in time does exactly what I just told y'all it was gonna do, if the dollar does this and closes like, let me control, and uses this, creates any kind of buy side, GBP is gonna sink. It's gonna fall. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap. That falls over. You don't have to take this trade now. You could set a sell stop on this trade at 3660, like 55. If you get a bearish engulfing candle here, it's very likely that price continues to fall to the downside. You know, Euro USD is not charging like everything else. Guess what? It could be leading the way and saying that this is exactly what's about to happen. This is a easy setup. This is super clean, super easy. I like Euro USD a lot. It's one of my favorites that I've seen today. You know what I'm saying? I like this a lot. And what I will let you guys know, we'll talk about this on our boot camp just as well. There are internal levels and there are external levels, right? People think that if this market were to sell, if I should call that too, I'm not going to call too many trades, but if Euro USD sells down to here, are we in a downtrend or an uptrend? People will be like, yo, it's an uptrend. I mean, it's a downtrend, such and such. True and false. Potentially true and false. This market can trade all the way down to this structure and we could still be in an uptrend. Whoa. That's something that I never learned until like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. Changed my trading completely. Thinking about internal versus external levels, thinking about higher time frame versus lower time frame. A sell side opportunity on the lower time frame could potentially just be a pullback on the higher time frame. What do I mean by that? I If Euro USD trades from here to here, are we in an uptrend or a downtrend? Is this an uptrend or a downtrend? It makes you think about it a little bit differently. Hmm? I was pretty confident when I looked at it like this. I'm pretty confident this is an uptrend. I'm pretty confident that this is an uptrend. Hmm. 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 But what if this is the setup for the bigger buy side move? What if I'm actually looking to take my buys right here and this is about to go parabolic at some point in time? What if this is the trade? Huh. Hmm. Okay. It doesn't mean you want to. We're gonna eat. We're about to eat dinner right now, babe. It doesn't mean that you can't catch the sell side move. For me, I will shoot. I'm a shooter, bruh. You feel me? I'm gonna take a shot as long as the risk to reward lines up and it becomes a 1 to 3. If I can make it a 1 to 3, it's good for me. A 1 to 3 is good for me. Maybe you might lose. Are you willing to lose 40 pips for 126? You know what I'm saying? While it sets up for a bigger play, right? Or maybe you're just a very disciplined person and it messes with your psychology trying to buy and sell and buy and sell. So you just say, you know what? I'm gonna set my alert. And when price trades back to, whoa, whoa, wait a minute, whoa, whoa. Let me see something real quick. I just like whole numbers. You know what I'm saying? If you're in my, small groups, let me see. Is Olivia here? Olivia, if you want to be in part of my small group and work with me, we have another small group starting in 3 weeks. I would love to work with you. I believe yeah, I would love to work with you. You just send me a message and I'll get you, I'll get you plugged in. But the group that we have right now, y'all understand what y'all picking up what I'm putting down because y'all did your homework. You know what I'm saying? But if we were to trade back to structure here, if we were to trade back the structure here, hmm, always good to eyeball. That looks like a level that I could take buys off of. This is structure, yo. Support, excuse me, resistance, support, bomb. Breaks through. But I need everybody who is in my small group right now, all of y'all. I need everybody to drop in the chat what is the levels that we're talking about? What level does this represent? Everybody. I need all people who understand what I'm putting down to drop it in the chat right now. You know what I'm saying? Turn me up. Let me see if y'all are catching on to what I'm putting down. What is it? 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 Come on. Y'all could just cheat at this point because you got some people that are, they sharp with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You feel me? And that's exactly where price looks like we could target. That's exactly where price looks like we can target. If we do not create a higher high, if at any point in time this trade right here creates a lower high, I know what's happening. You don't have to enter the trade here. You just look for the signs and the signals. If this starts to get weak, y'all ain't all participate. There we go. I got four of them. I'm about to start kicking people off the. I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I'm just messing around. But we don't have to enter here. This is the riskier trade. The easier trade comes after the rejection happens. Maybe we get a bearish engulfing candle in here. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we get a rejection in here. You know what I'm saying? There we go. See that guy right there. I know we are flow, but while we set the foundations, we all just gonna get in tune. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you loose, bro. You already know the vibes. I'm gonna let that guy Ozzy off. You can't put him on a leash. You know what I'm saying? You can't contain that guy. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let that man loose. Trust me. Trust me. We all win when Ozzy go loose. When we get right, we gonna get right together. You know what I'm saying? We gonna get right together. All right, cool. So we made it through our USD list. All of those things are done. Nasdaq, Nasdaq. This looks like we could get a melty, just off of this kind of a structure here. What I see here is kind of like let me see my drawing tool. Where my little drawing tool at? Baby, give me 15 more minutes. Let me get my little. Y'all can see I don't be using all these different things. But which one am I looking for? We could use this. This is what I'm seeing. Oh, and I locked it. All right. Bum, bum. This is kind of what I'm seeing. We start to see these curves in here. You know what I'm saying? We start to see these curves in here. We have our highs and then we have higher highs. Then we start to see where the highs become lower. We start to get these lower highs and lower highs. And even in here, we get lower highs. We trade back into structure, we get lower highs. We swept this high, we tested this, we came close, lower highs. Very possible that we have markets trade back to I'm gonna stop even saying it. I'm not even gonna keep on saying it, guys. I ain't even gonna keep on saying it, bruh. I actually honestly think that this can come and be bigger back to this level here to where we start to see some maybe sell side opportunities that take us all the way down into this level here, right? That would be healthy. The market is due for a correction. You know what I'm saying? Possible. All right, we made it through our USD list. Let's hop back to our JPYs. GBP, JPY, that mug sold off, boy. Mm-mm-mm. That thing, it really still hasn't even broken though. To be honest, we have not taken that high, but we did take that level that I was expecting us to buy from. We're still within this trade, still within the same range. Now we're testing even more structure down here. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said this is the riskier move. This is the riskier trade, right? That is the riskier trade. But we still have not broken out. You sleepy? You want an apple? All right, 1 second. Here. All right. All right. Yep. So we only had a 40 put stop loss, and even with that, stop loss hasn't been hit yet. It's very close. It's within 20 pip. Is that 20 pips? Something like that. But we're still staying above this low. So nothing changes in that sense. You know what I'm saying? Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Nothing changes. Now we created a high. We're still testing this structure here. I want to see if we're going to make it up to here because that was a target for me at one point in time. And I think that we're creeping closer towards that, but I want to see if price is going to look at that. It's already buying back. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe we swept this low, test the structure. Now we start to see some bullishness. Whew, I was scared for a second. Huh. But like I said, I would take that trade. I would take my trade and lose. You got to be willing to lose, yo. It just is what it is. This is how the market goes. Um, you're not gonna win them all. Euro and ZD. All right, now this is my watch list. So we went through the CADs, I mean through the JPYs. So we got our JPY basket, looking like we're getting some rejections, looking to come back and target these lows here. AUD, we look like we're finding some support. I'm gonna leave. I'm not gonna call. I'm about, in reality, I'm about to stop calling AUD trades completely. I'm gonna leave it to my guy. You know what I'm saying? We got somebody on here who is setting his focus. I try to tell you guys, like, as we are, kicking this off, um, I've shown people like NZD, USD, you know what I'm saying, such and such like that. That's what we marked our quarters on. It's just so that we can speak the same language. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a specific pair that may stand out to you more than the others. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be something that is easier for you than for the next person. If we were to build the most elite community, we would have a community where people have, mastery of their different pairs. Like Ozzy is very good with Aussie with the Aussie. He's good with the Australian dollar. You know what I'm saying? If he calls the AUD trade, whether it's Euro AUD or AUD USD, I would take his trade because I know he is working to master his craft in that. You know what I'm saying? So I would trust his trade. And as you guys go ahead and start to develop, you'll find things that stand out to you, that are easier for you than for the next person. Those are the gifts that we want to bring back to the community. You know what I'm saying? It's not about one person. I'm not over here trying. I'm just showing you guys what I'm doing right now is I'm just teaching you guys what I know. I expect that you guys are going to continue learning And y'all gonna have some things that I don't know that y'all gonna bring back to the squad. That's how we win long term. We start to have people that become experts in the areas that they choose. The Aussie dollar mine, you know what I'm saying? Aussie with the Aussie. Ozzy with the Ozzy, that's what I'm talking about. You feel me? If you see that man drop a trade in the group, I'm just saying, I'ma take it. I'ma take it. We might sweep these lows right here, you know what I'm saying? As long as we maintain above here. I don't even think that I don't know, you know. We'll see. We'll see how things want to move. We'll see if the JPY basket can continue to be just that strong. Because this is honestly the buy side on the JPY basket, as you guys know, is exactly what I've been looking for. Is exactly what I've been looking for. So I don't honestly want to like bet against myself in that sense. Um, you know, but these gaps, these imbalances, I do expect for those levels to be mitigated. NZD, everything is responding the exact same way. You know, we may see a pull and then the drop. We will see it when it happens. We're seeing that across the board here. NZD is a little bit interesting because it does seem as though we could sweep these lows. We've already traded back into here and maybe come down here just a little bit. We're still in that zone, in that range. But oh, look, you see that same thing? 1, 2, 1. I look for that a lot. I definitely trade off of those blocks. You know what I'm saying? We could see that happen and see price trade away at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? And then lastly, what else haven't I gone over? Lastly, gold. I truly believe that this is probably going to be the sell on gold right here. I ain't gonna call it though, but I truly believe that the dollar is going to get stronger. I'll tell you why. I'm gonna go right back to the dollar one more time. But I truly believe that these gaps get filled, that this structure gets tested, that this imbalance get filled, that this gets filled, that this gap gets filled, and that we trade back to here. I think that 4,500 on gold. Oh Lord, excuse me. Sorry, I missed this down here. That's what I look for. We have this also, but I believe that that's 77,000 pips. This is ridiculous, bro. Any good news should send this market lower. Anything, anything happens, this should die. And I really believe 5080 off of that 5100. I feel like 5080 is the pull. I feel like 5080 is the pull. I feel like this is it right here. This is not sustainable, guys. I feel like, oh, oh, Ozzy, what you think about that, bro? This looks crazy to me. Euro NZD, I want to see a little bit more. I need to see us use this as support. I want to break above this level and even a slow little break right here, followed by a pullback. So test of structure here sends us higher. We should get back to that 2.0 level fairly easy, mitigate these imbalances, and even probably come to sweep these highs. Um, maybe not oh, maybe look at that. Look at that imbalance. Um, one more fake out push up. I like it. It's already just shot up 50 pips from where I just said. It's already up 50 more pips. That's why I don't be trading gold, bro. The ranges are too big for me because even where I have my stop loss on gold, I'm like, yo, you need a 300 pip stop. What is this? That's 220 pips. 220 pips. I can't take, you know, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. But 50.80 is the pull. If we get another pull, I'm gonna still be waiting for price to trade back into range and then trade off of this level here. I think I like this. We already had that one rejection here. I don't think that we're gonna make it all the way up into here. 20, 50 pip stop losses. All I play with can't do 100 pips. That's risky. That's what I'm saying, bro. 30 pips is mine. 35 pips. I had the AI analyze some of my best trades, and we found out that there were some commonalities in my trading, that my best trades were 35 to 40 pip stop loss. It's been screwing me a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been trying to really stick to that. And I'm like, you know what? I could have used just a little bit more range, a little bit more room. But I'm really trying to optimize. You see how this is breaking out like this? So this is what I'll show you guys. We have this bearish engulfing candle. Price sells, and then we move to take structure. Just like he said, we might get another push, just like he said. Um, and I would be waiting for price to trade back into this structure here, possibly even creating that. I don't know if I'm going to wait for the lower low, but I would be waiting for price to trade back here to give us our retest, and then for us to get that continued sell side. That's even a little head and shoulder action right there, if that's how it works out. Basayo, stop playing with me, bruh. Don't do that. Are you done? But yeah, you guys, that's it for this call today. I think we're at about an hour, 5,100. I like 5,100. Y'all know I like the whole numbers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not, I like 5,100. I do. You see, that's exactly where I got my little head at. 30 rejection, 5,100. I like it. I like it. I like it, guys. I like it, guys. These are my people. We training snipers out here, y'all. This ain't no play. This is for real right now, y'all. These are real hitters out here, man. But yeah, you guys, that's all I have. Those are my views and my perspectives. We can wait for New York session for things to be more clear. These JPYs may move through the evening, just as well. But it's Sunday. You don't have to force anything. You know what I'm saying? We can wait to. Oh, look at this. Did I just mark this? Yeah, I like this. I like this because you see the sell side. We talked about on our earlier call, we talked a little bit about wicks and bodies. You see how there's a small wick followed by very big bearish engulfing candle, but there's no wick on the bottom of that bearish engulfing candle, right? Following, we have a bullish candle. It's not engulfing, but there's also a very, very small wick. Now we get the candle that sweeps these lows because this does create lows on the lower time frame. We get this candle that sweeps the lows and we immediately trade back into range. Hmm, curious, curious. And then how I use that now is when I'm forecasting, I'm simply looking to take the trade here and I'm using that wick as my stop loss. That's a 10 pipper. 10 pipper dipper, 10 pipper skipper, 10 pipper skipper, and we're trading all the way back to the highs in here, right? Guess what? You want to know? You want to see something funny? Look at this. Does this make an uptrend? No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Just the pullback. Just the pullback. Throw some fibs on there. High to low. 70%, something like that. 1 to 14 risk to reward trade. Make it 15 pip, 20 pip, just to make it a little bit, a little bit of breathing room. I really don't even, I would choke this thing. I wouldn't even give it no breathing room. I would use that wick right there. 10 pips. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll take 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips so I could smack for 150 one time. I'll tell you that much. But with that being said, you guys, 10 pipper skipper, tipper flipper. Yo, Weezy, bro. I'm grateful for you, dog. I love your energy, bro. I'm a big energy person, you know what I'm saying? And I am constantly, trying to pump energy into communities, into the groups, things like that. Having somebody like you who has that energy, you know what I'm saying? I value that. You know what I'm saying? It can only be one Wale, but we can have multiple people that got positive and positive energy to put out. That's why I've been talking to you guys in the group just about engaging because we are creating the energy right now. We create, we create energy, you know what I'm saying? Or we transfer energy that everybody can feed off of, just as well. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and we'll call that a day. I'm gonna cut the recording so that it doesn't become too long. Let's go ahead and see what time is it. That 15-minute just opened right now. We just had GJ just melted just a little bit. This was not the GJ chart that I had. It really didn't melt at all. It's actually at the same place that we just traded from. JPY basket selling, buying back to the top. AUD JPY. We just want to see the flip. We just want to see the flip. We want to see price maintain above here. You know what I'm saying? If we get a bullish candle and we get that same green, red, green, and we see price, we have setups here. Be patient, you guys. Be patient. Take your time. We don't have to rush. I do love, I like this structure. I like this level. A little bit, possibility that we could trade into here. Fair play, fair move. Possibility we could sweep these lows. Absolutely. Let's take our time. We'll take it nice and easy, and we will see if the market is going to cooperate with us this week here. It is going to cooperate with us. We're going to be in flow. We're going to be in tune. We're going to be patient. We're going to be diligent. This looks like it can just continue falling. CAD JPY. CAD JPY was my trade of the year. Was my trade of the year. We got this imbalance down here to come back to. We have the lows in here. I just want it to be clean, right? I just want us to trade clean so we don't have to think about price trading back here. But this is going to be where we get our final pull from. It doesn't matter how or when the market gets there, but when price trades back to, what is that? 114.5, and I believe I called the trade from that exact level before. Next time we touch that, it's on and popping, you guys. But with that being said, we'll call it there. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. For those of you who are in the um, small group right now, within the next 24 hours, I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and just get a poll real quick. Let me stop the call or stop the recording.